the 11 elements of successful Google Ads campaigns for lawyers. This is so important to get right. Each of these 11 tactics, elements, factors, you need to make sure you are questioning the strategy behind each of these 11 facets of your Google Ads campaigns. If you get all 11 of these right, you will see a lot of success. I'm not saying you have to get every one of them perfect, but you have to think through these 11 things. Maybe your Google campaigns for your law firm aren't doing so good right now. Maybe they're kind of flatlined, or maybe they're doing really good and you want to actually scale what's working, double down on it so you can double the amount of cases you're bringing in. Doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter if you are a legal marketer, an in-house marketing director for a law firm, or a managing partner of a huge firm or a small firm. Doesn't matter. These 11 technical elements, these 11 principles, these 11 segments of a Google Ads campaign for a lawyer need to be thought through. So let's dive right in. Number one is your keyword research and selection process. If you were to show an ad in the middle of the desert for water, okay, would you need to have the most perfect person at the register selling the water? Would they have to be a top-tier salesperson? No. If you're selling water in the middle of the desert and there's no competition around, and there's a marathon held in that desert, and the people finish the marathon and you put up your water stand right at the finish line of the marathon, people are going to pound down your doors of your little shack to buy water from you, okay? So if you can get in front of a starving audience, if you can get in front of the bleeding neck, as they say, the people who need you desperately, then everything else becomes easier. Your landing page doesn't have to be perfect. Your sales process doesn't have to be perfect. Now, this is all theory, right? You need to factor all of these in and you'll see why, but your keyword research and selection process has to be dialed in. So the number one way, well, there's really two ways to dial in your keyword selection process is first using Google's Keyword Planner, and then second, using the human keyword planner. What is that? The human keyword planner. Well, I'll explain. So we have Google's Keyword Planner, which is provided by Google. So you can just go to ads.google.com. You can log in, select your geographic area, then you can put in a couple keywords that are relevant to your practice area, and Google will present to you when you press enter all the keywords in your market that are relevant to the keywords you typed in. So let's say you're a personal injury lawyer, you type in the word injury lawyer, personal injury lawyer, car accident lawyer, give Google some ideas, maybe 3 keywords, select your geographic area, and boom, Google will give you all of the data on what was searched over the last 12 months, and then you can then make decisions as to what % of your budget you want to put towards each group of keywords. So that's one way. The reason you have to use the human keyword planner, which a lot of people don't know about, I'm going to explain, is because Google's only going to show you results in the keyword planner that will make them money, okay? Yeah, they're going to show some keywords that'll make you money, but they're only going to show you keywords that have enough searches per month to where if you were to bid on those keywords, Google would make some money. They're not going to show you all the keywords that have really low search volume, are more niche, and aren't as expensive because they're less competitive, because duh, Google's not going to make as much money on them, right? So you have to use the human keyword planner, okay? There's 3 groups of keywords that we're going to get to next in this process that you need to figure out using these 2 research processes, Google's Keyword Planner and the human keyword planner. So let's go into the human keyword planner. Human keyword planner. What is this? Is this a new software? Is this a new website? No. The human keyword planner, it's been in your head all along. Like, you already own the human keyword planner. You are an expert in your practice area as a lawyer, okay? And you already know all of the pain points that your ideal clients go through when they're searching for a lawyer. You know the types of injuries they experience, you know the types of, divorce problems they go through, the problems they go through when they're trying to choose a divorce lawyer, right? You know all of these problems, okay? So you need to tap into your own brain's keyword planner and actually think through what are some arbitrage, what are some niche keyword opportunities that maybe Google's not showing me, that a lot of people aren't bidding on, that I think would be indicative of things that my ideal client would type in on Google. So I'll give you a quick example for us. So when we started marketing on Google Ads to lawyers, we bid on stupid stuff like lawyer marketing, lawyer SEO, these really high traffic keywords. Because when you go to the keyword planner, that's all they give you, right? They'd say, oh, if you want to market to lawyers, here are all the keywords that are searched in hundreds of times a month. So I said, oh, cha-ching, let's just bid on those. So I started bidding on lawyer marketing, lawyer SEO, and it was not that good. We definitely got a return on investment, but the problem is it was so not targeted that we were getting so many research clicks from people who were never going to move forward with us anyway, that it was really a waste of time. So we started doubling down. We did creative brainstorming sessions, and we said, okay, what would all of our ideal clients type in if they were really looking for marketing services that we could provide? We brainstormed all the stuff out, and we started going into practice area specific searches like, okay, maybe they're not typing in lawyer SEO and becoming our clients. Maybe they're typing in workers' comp leads, or mass tort lead generation, or personal injury leads, or car accident leads. Maybe they're typing in things like marketing companies for lawyers, marketing services for lawyers. A little bit more specific keywords, searched much less because they're more niche, but way more profitable for us. So we canned all the general search terms that we were bidding on, and we went all in on the niche terms. And we've seen a tremendous amount of success using the human keyword planner. So you use Google's keyword planner, you use the human keyword planner, and then you come up with 3 groups of keywords, okay? Group number 1 of keywords is going to be your high value keywords, okay? Next group is going to be your arbitrage keywords, okay? And then next group, your third group, is going to be your high traffic keywords. So you have your high value keywords, your arbitrage keywords, and your high traffic keywords. So high value, arbitrage, high traffic, okay? So you're going to be thinking with these 3 segments when you're choosing the keywords you want to go after. High value are the cases that you would do anything to get, right? These are cases you need to be price insensitive on, cost insensitive. Whatever it takes to get that case, you'll do it. Now, these are usually going to be more niche terms. They're not going to be searched that much. So if you're a felony lawyer and you want to target felony cases, criminal defense, you're going to want to create a separate campaign going after keywords like felony lawyer and specific types of felonies that you want to go after, right? If you're a DUI lawyer and you really want to go all in on second offense and third offense DUIs, create a separate campaign for that, turn the budget all the way up because it's going to be a low searched term anyway, and dominate that niche. Then separately, after your high value keyword group is created, campaign, then you need to have a group of keywords that we call arbitrage keywords. This is only for lawyers who are looking to save budget, really, in some way, shape, or form. So there's a lot of tactics you can do. You can just bid on the word lawyer and some towns that you target. So if someone type in something like, around Philadelphia, there's a county called Delaware County, right? So what if we just bid on the word Delaware County and lawyer, so that your ads show up when people typed in stuff like lawyers in Delaware County lawyers, etc. Those are going to be really cheap clicks because it doesn't specify practice area. That's an arbitrage keyword. Another arbitrage keyword, which is controversial, but a lot of firms do it, is bidding on their competitors, right? So bidding on the mass advertisers in your market who have billboards, have brand recognition, and then bidding when people go online to search for them on that name, and then in the ad saying something along the lines of get a second opinion or something like that, to where you're not claiming to be them, but you are bidding on their traffic, which is still allowed as long as you don't claim to be them. So those are your arbitrage ad groups. So you have your high value ad group, or high value keywords. You have your arbitrage keywords. Then finally you have your high traffic keywords. So most people go for high traffic keywords first. Divorce lawyer, injury lawyer, accident lawyer. The problem with that is you get so many different searches that it can be a money drain if you're not smart with your high traffic ad groups. So you can go a little more specific on high traffic ad groups and just bid on town names that you operate within. For example, bankruptcy law. You would be better off bidding on, bankruptcy lawyer, if let's say you're in Arizona, instead of bidding on Phoenix or just bankruptcy lawyer, it'd be better to bid on Phoenix bankruptcy lawyer, even better to bid on Mesa bankruptcy lawyer, and then actually show no ads for just bankruptcy lawyer and only show up for the town variations, because you're going to get less searches because less people type in a town and the word bankruptcy lawyer than those who type in just bankruptcy lawyer near me or bankruptcy lawyer, right? So you're going to spend less because there's less searches on what you're bidding on, and you're going to get higher quality leads. So that's what I'd call a high traffic keyword group. You can put town names before your high traffic keywords, or you can just bid on the high traffic keyword like bankruptcy lawyer, personal injury lawyer, car accident lawyer, etc. The key is to micromanage your budget with each of these 3 keyword sets. Okay? Now, if you're under 10 grand a month in spend, you don't have to get too granular like this, because you're quite frankly not going to have the budget to, because a $10,000 a month spend is just over $300 daily budget. So don't get too crazy with this. So after you've chosen the keywords you want to use in your high value keyword group, your arbitrage keyword group, and your high traffic keyword group, the next step is you can use the keyword planner for this too, negative keyword planning, right? So negative keyword planning is where you think through all of the terms you just bid on and what variations of those terms would you not want to show up for. So again, making sure you exclude words like pro bono, affordable, cheap, low cost if you're a high-end divorce lawyer or you're an expensive criminal defense lawyer, right? And making sure as an injury lawyer you don't show up for stuff like no injury, at fault injury lawyer, stuff like that, property damage searches, stuff like that. So you want to be sure that you're excluding the right keywords in addition to including the right keywords in those 3 segments I broke down. So then next, after you've done your negative keywords and your 3 groups of keywords, the next step is your match types, right? So match types are how you tell Google what to show your ads for, right? So how do you tell Google when to show your ad if you're bidding on the word divorce lawyer? Or let's use that as an example. Well, you can tell Google, hey, show my ad whenever someone types in the word divorce or lawyer in any order, in any phrase. So that's what's called a broad modified match type. Okay, so that's where you put a plus sign before each of your keywords. Plus divorce, plus lawyer. That tells Google, hey, show my ad whenever someone types in the word divorce and lawyer in any order. So if someone typed in lawyers that handle divorce, your ad would trigger under a broad modified keyword match type. Great. Next is your phrase match type. This tells Google that you only want your ad to show up, you put quotations around the keywords, divorce lawyer. That means your ad should only show up when people type in the word divorce and lawyer, divorce lawyer, in that order. Now, it's not like that anymore. Google has expanded what their definition of close variants are, which means that if you bid on the word divorce lawyer, your ad could show up for family law attorney and words that you aren't even bidding on. So that's where you have to have more targeted negative keywords to go after similar but not identical practice area niches that you don't want to show up for. And then lastly is exact match. Exact match was supposed to be where you put brackets around your keyword divorce lawyer as an example, and that would tell Google, hey, only show my ad when someone types in the word divorce and lawyer in that order, okay, with no variations. Now, again, exact match is not perfectly exact match anymore, meaning your keywords can show up for many relevant search terms when you're bidding on stuff like divorce lawyer with brackets around it. So again, it comes back to negative keywords to exclude the variations of the word divorce that Google may think is similar enough to register your divorce lawyer ad. So if that doesn't make sense, we have videos on this. If you just go through our tutorial videos on how to go through match types and structure your campaigns and choose your keywords, go through our YouTube channel and you'll find them. Okay, so next is the second component, the second principle of successful Google Ads campaigns for lawyers is your landing pages. And we have many videos on this topic. The point of this tip is to stop sending traffic to the homepage of your website. There's 3 things I always like to see in a good landing page. Is it's fast loading, okay? And I need to see that it's mobile first, and I need to see that people can either call you or submit a form. So fast loading, mobile first, and I need to see that very quickly people can either just click to call you or submit a form. If I don't see those three things, usually something needs to be improved. And if you haven't watched our video on how one of our landing page templates got 2,000 leads at a 44% conversion rate, make sure you watch that video on our YouTube channel. Okay, the third element of Google Ads success for lawyers is your unique selling proposition. Now, most firms don't have a unique selling proposition. Therefore, most firms compete on price if you're in a retainer niche, or vague, I'm gonna fight for you harder pitches in PI, right? So what's unique about you? If you're a sole proprietor, there's things unique about you. If you're a big firm, there's things that are unique about you too. If you're sole proprietor, you are the unique selling proposition. The fact that it's personalized is the unique selling proposition, right? If you're a big firm, you have more resources. You can probably be more resourceful in getting the right people on their case, right? Let's say you have doctors and lawyers in-house, right, for MedMal. You got to promote that fact as a USP, because most of the lawyer ads and campaigns that we see out there are pretty generic. Now, I'm going to make a point here. Don't get too wrapped up in being disruptively unique with your ads. 80 to 90% of your ads should be tried and true with what works in each practice area. That's why it's good to work with a company that manages many Google ad campaigns, because they can just tap into the data and tell you, hey, this is what works best. Then after the bare bones basics are built out, that's pretty cool. I should do a book called Bare Bones Basics. After they're built out, then you can transition to getting creative. So your unique selling proposition is very important, but make sure you're following tried and true principles before you get too unique with your USP on your ads and landing pages. Okay, next is number 4. The number 4 element to be hyper-focused on for your Google Ads campaign success is your ad groups and campaign structures, okay? So I always preach, keep your campaigns and ad groups, the structure of them simple if you're spending less than 10 grand a month. The reason why I say to avoid complicated campaign structures is because the more complicated they get, two things happen. There's more room for error, because you're gonna have more ads and more campaigns, and way harder to optimize 15 campaigns versus 1 or 2 campaigns. Way harder to make split test decisions when everything is completely broken out in a complicated way. So I say there's 3 steps here when you're building simple ad groups and campaign structures. Number 1 is build simple campaigns. Number 2 is check the details, okay? Detail check. And then after those 2 things are done, simplicity, detail check, then and only then can you get creative, okay? So focus on simple ad group and campaign structures, detail check them for errors, then you can get creative in incremental steps. But don't try and reinvent the wheel on Google, because a lot of data is already out there as to what works, and a lot of times creative ideas on Google don't work because you're not following tried and true principles. Okay, the 5th element of Google Ads success for lawyers you have to be in control of and aware of is your bidding strategy, okay? Now at the SMB team, our agency, we want control, okay? Anthony Higman, our director of PPC, he is a control freak when it comes to Google Ads. And that is how it should be. You should be looking at every bidding strategy that Google recommends and questioning them. Because as soon as you lose control of your bidding strategy, you're pretty much giving Google the say over how much you spend per click and therefore per case. Not to mention, you can't micromanage what keywords you want to bid higher on, what times a day you want to bid higher on, right? What demographic cohorts you want to bid higher on. It gets a lot harder to micromanage the valuable components of your campaigns if you just use a set and forget automated bidding strategy. Now, for super low budget campaigns, automated bidding does work occasionally because, you quite frankly will never get statistically significant data on low budget campaigns. So sometimes it works to use what's called maximize clicks. You definitely don't want to use maximize conversions though on something that's getting a handful of leads every month, because there's not enough conversions for Google to make decisions on. So another thing to keep in mind with bidding is showing up first is usually not the smartest move for most small law firms. And a lot of people want to say that they're showing up first, but showing up first is not the best if you're on a budget, because you want to show up where there is a price and value balance. Meaning, when you show up first, sometimes you can spend twice as much as showing up second. But if you're on a limited budget, you can get just as many leads showing up second as you can showing up first, because your cost per click is going to be half as much. You could probably get more leads showing up second or third. So again, control your bidding. Make sure you're not using automated bidding unless there is a clear strategic reason behind it, and unless you know your campaigns on the technical side are perfectly set up to then scale that automation without errors and without mistakes. So take control of your bidding. Realize the things that Google pushes make them money most times, not you. Okay, number 6 element to be vigilantly focused on for Google Ads success for lawyers: copywriting and ad extensions. So let me start by saying copywriting is not rocket science, okay? You need to include the keywords that you're bidding on in the ad group, right? You also need to use pre-tested ad copy that you know is a high certainty of working. After you've implemented the basics, then you can get creative, right? So Google's suggestions, again here, are going to be to automate it, right? To do a dynamic ad, or to do a smart ad, or all these automated ad creation methods, dynamic text insertion, right? The problem is you never can get statistical significance again, and you can't control your split tests, right? So when you give Google complete free reign to just show your ads for 5 different headline variations, and then you have no control over what headline shows up first, second, or third, they're going to optimize on performance. But what if performance is just based on clicks and not retained cases? What if performance is based on impressions and not retained cases? The problem there is Google's going to optimize the ads that get you the most clicks, but not necessarily the most cases. Stay case focused, okay? Another little secret that we follow is using special characters in ads. This works really well. Using apostrophes, using quotations if you can. If you can use your state abbreviation with capital letters, that's always good, because the more capital letters you use, the more real estate you take up. So we talk about copywriting, but also there's another side of copywriting that applies to ad extensions. So if you ever see those Google ads, you'll see the headline, the first headline, the second headline, then you'll see the text beneath it, which is the body of the text. Then you'll see all these razzle-dazzle extensions, right? So there's things called site link extensions that allow people to click to certain pages on your website. There's call-out extensions that list all the benefits that your firm offers. There's, the list goes on and on and on. There's all of these extensions. You can use price extensions. You can use different variations of review extensions. You can, get custom with URL copy that you use on the URL that you're sending them to. There's so many things you can do to take up more real estate with your ads. The rule of thumb here is take up as much real estate on that first page of Google as you possibly can. Sometimes when you're searching on your mobile phone, you'll get an ad, either lawyer, any line of business, and they'll be taking up literally the entire screen of your mobile phone. Think about that. If you're only including the headlines on your ads and a little bit of body text with no ad extensions, you're not going to be taking up all that real estate. And quite frankly, Google's not going to show your ad as much because they know that ads without ad extensions aren't going to get clicked on as much because they don't take up as much real estate. So I want you to be focused on, with copywriting and with ad extensions, I want you to be focused on the basics, and I want you to be focused on filling up as much real estate as possible. I want you to be focused on using special characters to make your ads pop instead of just generic text. Oh yeah, and capitalize all words. Every word you have in a Google ad, capitalize the beginning of each word. Awesome. So next, number 7 thing I want you to be focused on for your Google Ads campaign success has nothing to do with your Google Ads campaigns. Are you ready for it? Oh man, I talk about this all the time. Your sales process. Yes. Google Ads are the lowest hanging fruit leads you will ever get in your business, but you have to be ready to capitalize on them. And the best way to capitalize on them is to not have your paralegal or receptionist answering your calls. So is your paralegal or receptionist answering your calls right now? Well, you need to change something. Maybe you need to hire an answering service. Maybe you need to get a trained sales professional in there to become your receptionist so that you can have someone skilled answering your calls and converting people into cases. The next thing I want you to be focused on in your sales process, you ready for it? How much are you following up with your leads? If you're following up with your leads one time on the day they contact you, you're being weak. Like, come on, you gotta be aggressive to get internet leads to turn into cases. So the guys at Morgan & Morgan, I know that they call their leads, I think 3 times. They'll leave 1 voicemail. They'll text them 3 times, all within the first day. That's 7 points of contact. The only reason they don't leave more voicemails is because it can be labeled as harassment. So they leave 1 voicemail, 3 calls, and 3 texts if that lead doesn't respond. Are you doing anything even close to that? Or let me even zoom out. Are you even following up with your leads in that first day? How about in the first couple hours? Like, focus on your sales process. So then the next component of your sales process is you need to use electronic signature. Like, electronic signature it's a win-win-win-win-win for everyone. So your clients don't all want to drive to you, right? You like face-to-face because you can close at a higher rate. They don't always. They just want to sign up sometimes, right? So are you even offering e-signature to speeden your sales process? These 3 things, okay? Getting a professional answering your phone, setting your firm up with follow-up process so that you can have multiple touch points on that first day that your lead reach out to you. And then lastly, using electronic signature. These 3 things will be the 80-20, I think, for improving your sales process to get an ROI from your Google ads as a law firm. Okay, number 8 is I want you to be focused on this 8th component because at some point you're going to think of it. Scaling beyond initial success. Okay, be careful here. Scaling, there's a lot of myths around scaling Google ad campaigns. So if you want to scale your campaigns after initial success, be very aware that sometimes if you just increase your budget, your campaigns will get all messed up. Scaling is not that easy. A campaign that runs under 10K a month that you want to scale to over 10K a month, or really from any amount of thousands of dollars a month to 2x that or 3x that, keep in mind, low budget campaigns require simpler and different structures than high budget scaled campaigns. So keep this in mind when you feel that you want to scale, you want to get more leads, you want to get more calls. Keep that in mind because sometimes when you just increase your budget blindly on a campaign that's built for low budget campaigns, you will not see more leads, you will just see more wasted ad spend. Sometimes it's smarter to scale into Bing after you see success. So take exactly what's working on Google and then port your campaigns over to Bing and run exactly that. You can make some changes, that's great, but as soon as you find something that works on Google, take that same daily budget and port it over to Bing. Also, it's important to think, instead of just scaling budget, think about how you can expand keywords, okay, and what geographic areas you can expand into. And maybe you can expand into, different times of the day or days of the week if you've been focused more on weekends or weekdays or specific hour time blocks during the day. So those are some of my tips on scaling your campaigns beyond the initial success. The next is number 9, is split testing. I want you to be thinking about the realities of split testing, also known as A/B tests, right? Under 10,000 a month, okay, I keep saying this. Don't worry that much about split testing because everything that you're gonna be doing under 10,000 a month is not gonna be statistically significant unless you're looking at it over very long periods of time. Like, everything is just educated guesses when you're doing split testing on limited budget campaigns. So when your numbers are small, you're gonna make these genie-like hypotheses and say, oh, it feels like this ad's working better, or the data shows this. And what usually happens is you're gonna make assumptions that are not backed in data, and you're gonna go based on gut, even looking at data, if that makes sense. You're gonna look at data, your brain's gonna start making these decisions, oh wow, this ad seems to work better. But in reality, even just looking at cost per conversion numbers, it can mislead you, because cost per conversion is not the cost per quality case, okay? It's not the cost per signed case. It's not the cost per anything but the conversion, someone picking up the phone and calling you. So sometimes if you make decisions on small pieces of data on campaigns that are under 10K a month budget, I would test no more than 2 ads, and I would do a 50-50 split on those ads. That's it. I wouldn't let Google run with these dynamic ads and smart ads that just pretty much show whatever verbiage they think is going to get the most clicks and make them the most money. So question your split testing approach, keep it simple, don't go crazy, use tried and true tactics, and be patient with your split tests so that you're not making snap decisions on what's working, what's not. Okay, the 10th element I want you to be focused on is remarketing, also known as the power of the pixel, I say. Things are changing rapidly here, right? The use of pixels, because of privacy laws, you're not able to use pixels the way that you were 10 years ago. So you have to be conscious of the fact that a lot of changes are happening right now with privacy laws that are restricting your ability to retarget to leads because of hardship laws, retargeting the ads to people who are experiencing a hardship. So be very careful there. What I will say is never stop pixeling, right? Regardless of what happens, always pixel your landing pages and your thank you pages so that you can own that data regardless of how you can use that data, right? There's a lot of ways you can use pixeled data by putting a Facebook pixel on your landing page and then putting a Google pixel on your landing page so you can track all the traffic that didn't initially become leads and find creative ways to follow up with them on the internet. Even if there's restrictions there, the way that we've found to get around those restrictions, if you want to follow people around on Facebook who didn't become leads yet, is to just show a general branding ad of your firm. Don't call out their ailment, don't call out the hardship they're going through, showing display ads to people that say, oh, were you looking for a divorce lawyer? No, of course Google's gonna question that ad, because then if the husband's standing behind the wife while she's on CNN.com and are you looking for a divorce lawyer retargeting ad shows up, that's not fair to her, right? That's breaking her privacy rights as an individual. So even if you don't get an amazing ROI from your Google campaigns, pixel everything so that you can create your own lookalike audiences, own the data of those people who didn't convert, also own the data of those who did convert, right? Those who did sign your contracts, those who did become clients of yours, and create marketing plans that go after people who have similar data, similar demographic data to those who are becoming your clients through the internet most frequently. So always be focused on building your remarketing list 100% of the time with every initiative you ever follow. Even if you're 1-to-1 ROI, 2-to-1 ROI with Google Ads, that pixel can make it a 10-to-1 ROI just by capturing your data, right? Not depending on another agency to do it, you capturing your data. Okay, number 11. This is the 11th factor of Google Ads success I want you to be thinking of. Are you ready? Okay, your online reputation matters. It just matters. Like, people are smart. You can have the best Google ad campaigns in the world. People become introduced to your firm, they click on your ads, they go to your landing page. Oh my God, that is so great. You're getting leads. Oh my God, right? But some people, especially people who have big cases or very, are going to be working with you for something very serious to them, they're going to go to your landing page. Maybe they'll submit their information, but then they're going to do research. Like, there's almost no, maybe 5% of the market does no research. High quick starts, as they call them in the Colby personality test. People who don't need much facts or data make a decision on gut. That's 5% of the market. 95% of the market is going to go online after they submit their information or go to your landing page. They're going to open up another tab, type in your law firm's name, type in your name, and then the word reviews. Or they're going to type in your law firm's name in a separate tab and just look at your reviews on your Google My Business profile, your Yelp profile. Did any employees that work for your company talk positively about you? These are the things that leads look into nowadays before they reach out. So make sure that your firm is flooded with positive information online, whether that's reviews. For us, our YouTube channel helps us out a lot because we put that on some of our landing pages so that when a lead visits there, they're a little skeptical. They'll see our YouTube channel, they'll binge on some of our content, they'll see we know what we're talking about. Then they'll reach out to us after they've analyzed us, looked at our reviews, looked at our videos, and say, hey, I saw you through Google Ads, but I did my research and I'd really like to talk to you guys. That's a much higher quality lead than a cold lead that just comes in through the landing page without any due diligence or research. Research happens. Just make sure that you have the assets and the online infrastructure to support the research that your best clients are going to do when they're looking to hire you online. Okay, last bonus tip here on your online reputation, video testimonials. Work like a charm. There's no better way to earn someone else's trust than by showing how you've earned someone similar to them and their trust, right? So I hope you found value in this video. Those are the 11 things for you to be focused on, the 11 elements that make a Google Ads campaign successful for a lawyer. If you focus on, if you make sure you master these 11 elements, I can assure you, you will see great results from your Google ad campaigns over the long term if you're focused on these 11 elements. If you want more information like this, we just wrote a book on it called the Lawyer PPC book. Well, that's the URL. LawyerPPCbook.com is the URL. And the book is called PPC for Lawyers, Not Dummies. So download the book, PPC for Lawyers, Not Dummies. If you want a ebook that goes through all of this information, go to LawyerPPCbook.com and download it right now. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to get real-time notifications when I release videos like this so you can stay ahead of the trends, dominate your competition, and take over the world in the process. I'm here to help grow law firms. My name is Bill Hauser. Thank you for your time and attention. Stay great.